Hello, my name is Kurt. Today, I'm just hanging out, having a nice cigar. You know, it's been a while since I had a cigar. I'd say over close to a year. 'Cause I like smoking cigars outdoors in the warm weather. It's just a perfect combination with maybe some nice iced coffee or something like that. But it's just been crappy weather. But today it's finally like decent weather. But on the other hand, just way too hot. Like just way too hot outside. It's humid and sticky and all that stuff. I said, screw that. I'm gonna fire one up indoors and enjoy it. Screw it. Smoking Romeo y Julieta 1875 Reserva Real, or Reserva Real if you want to be all Spanish about it. Just hanging out, enjoying myself, and thinking about hobbies and how watches have become an interesting hobby for me. Because I've always wore a watch to school ever since I was very young. But I had your typical kind of crappy watches, Seikos and just like basic watches like that. Just, I was a young kid. Beater watches, just to tell the time or whatever. By the way, I'm wearing my Omega automatic 14 karat gold watch. Nice dress watch. I like it. It's really cool. It doesn't have a date or a day feature, but it's old school. This is from like the 1950s. Pretty sweet. I'm usually wearing my Omega Omega Seamaster day and date. That's from like the 1980s. But speaking about watches, I find them very interesting because each watch has a different feel to it, a different, I want to say personality. Just like every human being is still a human being, but they're not all the same. Same thing with watches. Now, a lot of people say physical objects don't have like a general feel to them. They don't have a personality. That's true, but certain physical objects can make you feel different ways, Like when I have this watch on, it's just classy, it's old school. It's a very nice thing. That's why I like hobbies, because collecting anything gives you a better bond with the things you acquire in life, you know. This isn't just a watch on my wrist. This is hard work. This is saving up lots of money. This is something I enjoy. It's not just something that I tell the time with. It's a piece of jewelry. It's something I look at and say, yeah, I have this. It's with me now. Yeah, it's a watch from the 1950s, but it's on my wrist now. And who knows who wore this before? You know what I'm saying? Who knows who were the previous owners? It has a history. It has a lineage. The company itself, Omega, is a very old company. It has a history and a lineage. And these are the beautiful things about luxury watches, not basic watches made in Japan or China. Because yeah, you could say like a car like a Nissan or something just mass produced like a Hyundai or something. You could say, oh yeah, they're all the same, they're made out of the same parts and all that stuff. That's true, but in the end, it's, for example, if you buy it, it's yours. And when you sell it, you were the previous owner, and then there's a new owner. You know what I'm saying? Physical possession gets sort of personality and gets life according to the owner, so to speak. Like this cigar right here, it's kind of mass produced somewhere. And yeah, it's just another cigar at the end of the day, but it's my cigar. I'm smoking and I'm enjoying its company. I'm enjoying its presence. It's like a friend. This wristwatch is like a friend of mine. I look at it whenever I'm lonely, whatever. It's like, it's kind of there for me. It's kind of a weird reassurance. And it's more reassuring than the company of human beings, to be honest with you. Getting into hobbies and getting into watches more, I just realized that there's a pursuit. Not necessarily for the perfect watch, just for a watch that resonates with you as a person. Something that you would see yourself wearing. Something that you look at and you say, I gotta have it. It's sort of like looking at a companion, you know, looking at a female or whatever you may be into. And then you look at that one, you know, there's billions of females in this world, but you look at that one particular female and you're like, I gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that uniqueness. That's what I'm talking about. And to me, right now I'm looking at a Hamilton Jazzmaster day and date on a leather strap. I have it on my computer right now, but my camera's set up in such a way that I would have to mess around with it, and it's probably going to screw up the video quality, so I'm not going to do that. So just look at Hamilton Jazzmaster day and date, and you'll see what I'm looking at. It's a really nice piece. It's only like around $500 to $600. It's really not bad. It's Swiss made. You know, Hamilton is a nice company. But you know, the dream of mine is always the Rolex Datejust. I really don't care about the Rolex Submariner. I don't care about the super expensive ones. I don't care about the President. I don't care about the Daytona. I don't care about the new like Rolex watches. All I want is a Rolex Datejust. 1601, I think it is. The one with the fluted gold bezel, two-tone, you know, on a leather strap would be nice. It's just a perfect watch. And one could say, yeah, a watch is a watch. Rolex is a Rolex. Seiko, you could get a Seiko instead. No, man. When you have a Rolex, it's just no faking it. Like I said, if you buy a crappy watch, you kind of know it's a crappy watch. You know, like going back to my example with the women. Like, yeah, there's hundreds of women, for example, available. You know, you have your escorts, you have your typical girls, you have this girl, you have an Asian girl, you have a black girl, you have a Hispanic girl, whatever. But then there's that one girl that just strikes your eye and makes you just not give a shit about all the others, you know? Just like, I gotta have that one, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like with hobbies and watch collecting and all this stuff. Now, watches and stuff, like I said, it's an investment that you can wear on your wrist. It's a nice timepiece, you know. It's you can see it all the time. Whereas stacking gold and silver, for example, it's more of, to me, it's a collecting thing, but it's more of an investment thing. You know, I take out my gold and silver to look at it every once in a while, and yeah, it gives me that feeling of, yeah, I'm doing something good with my money. I'm making some investments. This is going to be good. But to me, it's just not the same feeling. You know, I know that, okay, these are pieces of gold and silver, I'm probably going to sell them eventually and stuff like that. It's not like a Rolex where I know I'm going to wear it for a lifetime and then I'll pass it on to somebody else, you know. I don't plan on having children ever, honestly, but maybe I'll adopt some kids or do something like that because, you know, sorry if this video is a little like just random, but I just like hanging out with a cigar and just talking some random stuff that's on my mind. But yeah, when it comes to children, I think it's just better to adopt. There's no point of creating more life on this overpopulated planet already. Might as well just, like, for example, adopt an Asian kid or something and make his life better because, you know, it's a life form that's already alive, you know what I'm saying? And it's not going to be your kid, for example, because, you know, you didn't, you know, blow your load in some woman and then it's not your DNA and all that stuff. Yeah, but I mean, I think my cigar went out. I've been yapping too much. Too much yapping, not enough puffing. That's my motto. But yeah, it's just, I think it's a better idea. Instead of overpopulating the planet even more. why not do something that'll benefit it a little bit, you know? And you can have the same experience of raising a kid and just enjoying the company of a kid and, you know, all that stuff that comes with fatherhood without the need of having a wife, without the need of having, without the fear of losing all your money for child support or, you know, having all these problems that come along with that. I was also thinking about, you know, this is just random ideas I have, but thinking about it, you know, just donating to a sperm bank for money, of course, for profit. I was looking that up, and I'm like, that's really not a bad idea for a young man, you know, just hanging out, extra money on the side. You know, it's not much. That's what pisses me off, because when you go to a sperm bank, I was looking this up, and I even called up a local one just to confirm these things. They told me that they only give like $300 like a week for all the samples you give, and you have to go there like 3 times a week. So you can't jack off, you can't have sex or whatever for several days, and you have to go there like in some sort of interval. But it's 3 days a week. You have to make semen deposits, and they give you like $300 or something like that. Now that's really shitty money when you're talking about something like that. That's really crappy money when you're thinking about it. When you're donating your semen, your DNA, and the sperm banks charge a hell of a lot of money for it. They freeze your sperm, and then when a female or whatever comes in and wants to get artificially inseminated, impregnated, whatever, they charge her like $5,000 or $10,000 for one like semen insertion, one baby, pretty much. So they're making a hell of a lot of profit off of that, and that's what pisses me off. Here I am, for example, jacking off into a cup, and they're paying me $300 when they're selling it, flipping it for like thousands and thousands of dollars. It's pretty fucking crazy. It's not even big money. You know, $300 a week is not big money by any means. Like if it was $1,000 a week, okay, then I understand. But on the other hand, then you would have a lot of dudes that would just say, fuck work, I'm just gonna jack off into a cup. But the thing that differentiates this, and it's a strict job process too. You can't just be anybody. You need to have certain genetics. You have to have certain height, certain weight, certain eye color, certain hair color, certain, you know, biological genetic history. All this stuff, like, it's not that easy in the end anyway. So if they paid $1,000 a week for good, like for example, people that are donating, I don't see why that's a problem. But yeah, man, just thinking about things, you know? I'm always thinking about how I could make money in a fairly easy fashion. But then when you think about it, you'll have like hundreds of children running around and you won't even know they're yours. That's pretty fucking creepy too. And then eventually one day they're going to want to meet you. That's a certain fact. Because I watch a lot of these programs and documentaries on YouTube or on TV about how like artificially inseminated children seek out their donor father, so to speak. And that's really weird, having like to meet your 5 kids that, you know, were jizz in a cup once upon a time. That is really fucking weird. There's a difference between, you know, raising a kid or even adopting a kid and then, you know, raising him or spending time with him, as opposed to just meeting complete strangers that are your children. Now that's freaky. It's a pretty good cigar. Getting into cigars now. I'm gonna stop all the bullshit rambling about random stuff, but you know, I think you guys enjoy it. You know, it's fun. I'm kicking back. We're hanging out. You know, nothing too serious. Just spinning ideas back and forth. You know, maybe you guys will be interested. Obviously, in watches and hobbies, that's a very common thing. But hey, if you want to look into, you know, sperm donation, go ahead. You know, the MGTOW people watching this, go ahead. You know, it won't hurt. Research it. You gotta gain intelligence. As a man, you gotta gain intelligence about everything. Even if it's things you're not interested in. You know, you gotta kind of force yourself. Like, I'm not so much interested in mathematics, but now I'm spending times with math books, deciphering problems, just doing all these things, just to improve myself as a person. And eventually, if you do it enough, you actually start to like it. It's really weird. You know, like hating math all the time. Like, now that I'm not kind of forced to do it, I'm not in a school environment where grades depend on it, I could just kick back with a math book and just do things on my own time. I'm learning at a faster pace, and it's actually slightly enjoyable. I still hate it. I don't like math, but it's bearable. So you gotta get into everything. Research everything. I spend a lot of time looking up documentaries on just random stuff. Whether it's gold trade in Brazil or, you know, all these different things. Whether it's a cigar documentary, whether it's a watch documentary. This isn't a bad cigar. Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real. I think it has a light wrapper, so I'm thinking it's a Connecticut wrapper. I don't know about the fillings, but it's pretty good. Like, in the beginning, it was kind of a peppery, tongue-numbing, just spicy smoke, and now I'm getting sort of, not necessarily to the middle, but I'm getting there. And the flavors are kind of mellowing out a little bit. It has like a creamy, rich, smooth, mildly spicy, just nice flavor. Nice to kick back on a hot day. Like, I wouldn't want to be smoking, for example, Maduro, a heavy Maduro, or a full-bodied cigar today. I would say I didn't check the body of this before I started smoking it. I just grabbed it out of my humidor and just fired it up, like, randomly. I'd say this is a medium-bodied. Now, if you look at the websites, it might say mild, but to me, it's feeling and tasting a little bit on the medium side. It's burning very awkwardly, though. I touched it up several times. I used matches in the beginning. Now I'm just using a lighter because it's easier. It's just burning kind of crooked. That's one thing that's kind of lackluster with this smoke. But that could be due to a lot of things, you know. I'm closing in on like 20 minutes here. I think I'm going to leave it with that, you know. Might have a cider later on. Got some Samuel Smith's cider. Apple alcoholic beverage right here. Bam. Bam. Some organic stuff that I found. Tastes like fermented apple juice. Like really good apple juice that has been, like, not like your typical ciders that's like artificially flavored, or like, you know, Mike's hard lemonade type of thingy. No, this is like a very nice, rich apple juice that's been fermented. It's like 5% alcohol or something like that. 5.0%. Not bad, pretty mild. I mean, usually when I smoke beers, I smoke beers that are a little bit stronger, especially in the winter. But even in the summer, I smoke beers that are like 7%. Sorry, got some wrapper in my mouth. 7%, 8%, you know, stuff around that region. 6%, 6.5%. That's what I like. Don't like the Coronas or the Modelos or any of this. My bird is just standing like in the vicinity where my cigar smoke is going, and you know, I do not like to, you know, okay, there you go. I don't want to, you know, expose my bird to freaking like cigar smoke, you know. It's my hobby and it's my thing. Little Wing, you gotta just chill out. I know maybe you wanna like toke on a cigar a little bit, but you know, the bird's breathing system is different from a human's breathing system. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, beers and alcohol. Whiskey, stuff like that isn't too bad, but not so much straight whiskey, but like whiskey, Jack and Coke, stuff like that in the summer's pretty good. Haven't been to the beach yet. Haven't been to the beach yet, primarily because I just don't feel like driving there, or you know, even taking the train or whatever. I just don't feel like making that voyage in this super hot weather. It would be nice, but on the other hand, when you think about it, if you go to the beach too much, not too much, but if you go to the beach enough, it just kind of becomes stale. It's like, yeah, I'm going to a land where there's sand where I could stand in and just walk barefoot and just look at the water for a couple of hours and then relax a little bit, and that's it, you know? Kind of becomes lackluster, you know? When you're younger, it's like, yeah, the beach is gonna be fucking great. Now it's just like, yeah, the beach, alright. Whatever, we could go, I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. Getting to the middle of the cigar now. Just chilling, relaxing at a slow pace. Was playing some tunes earlier. John Denver. I got the whole greatest hits, and I also have John Denver's album. I forgot what it's called. So just listening to some John Denver recently, some country pop sort of tunes. You know, I'm really enjoying them. Leaving on a jet plane, great song. Or Country Roads, take me home, West Virginia. Take me home, da 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 da. Great song. So I've been relaxing with the John Denver vinyls recently. It goes along with the nice warm chill weather, you know. Makes you feel like a country boy. Listening to some Johnny Cash records too. You know, Janis Joplin, the usual. I have so many records right now that it's hard to keep track. Like I have like probably over 100 something singles. Like probably 70 of which that I haven't even listened to yet, because singles are kind of annoying. You know, it plays like a 5-minute or a 2-minute song on one side, and you have to flip it to listen to the other side. I just have so many. I would have to just keep flipping and flipping. So I've been holding off on that, just listening to full albums, some Zeppelin here and there. You know how it is, people. Anyway, enough, you know, enough rambling, enough chatting, you know. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have some cigars, fire them up. Perfect time. Also listening to some Tom Waits. Always good drinking music. Great stuff. Tom Waits is a great artist. Really enjoy his voice. Really enjoy his music. And a lot of people say, oh, tobacco doesn't really help. Cigarettes are bad for you. Tom Waits wouldn't have that voice if he wasn't a chain smoker, I'll tell you that much. It would be pretty close, but no, you can't get that voice without being a chain smoker, you know? He has a deep, rich, sort of gravelly sort of voice that I like. Sings sort of bluesy, jazzy sort of tracks. Great stuff. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated if I buy Hamilton. But like I said, instead of buying a Hamilton for 500, and then the resale value, Hamiltons are not super popular. I don't know about that. I think I'm just gonna go with the Rolex Datejust and get that. Just once I have that watch, I feel that I'll be set. I'll be really, really just chilling. Yes, there will be other watches that I will have on my radar, and oh yeah, I would like this Hamilton, or I like this Omega, or I would like this, a Rolex Submariner, but once I have the Datejust, I'm kind of set. I'll be like, alright, I have a watch that, I'll be satisfied with forever, and all the other watches are just kind of icing on the cake, just to mess around with. That's the cool thing of having more than one watch. It's like interchangeable jewelry. It's just nice. You look at your wrist, it's like one day you have this, the other day you have that. It's great. It's like changing shirts. It's like changing, anything. And the thing that distinguishes a watch between a car is that a car sits on the street, sits on your garage. You'll take it on a spin around town every once in a while, or if you have to go drive to work, drive here, yeah. That makes sense. But a watch is on your wrist 24/7. You shower with this thing on. You sleep with this thing on, you fuck with this thing on. It's sort of like a part of you. You know what I mean? I never take my watches off, unless I switch them, obviously. So that's a great freaking thing. That's why I like the watches now. I know it's going to be a long-term hobby of mine. Cigar's getting a little different flavor now. Sort of like a grassy hay creaminess. A lighter, sort of grassy. I'm tasting like grassy, sort of hay, dry grass, herbally kind of tone. Still has that kick in the back of the throat. That's why I'm saying I think it's a medium-bodied cigar. That's it, people. Let me do a nose jet right here. Damn. Whew. That was rough. Wow. Holy shit. That's one spicy motherfucker. Woo. I hit, hard-bodied, full-bodied cigars like Maduro's, the darkest, most full-bodied cigars. I retrohaled no problem. Easy as hell. This one's very spicy, very rough on the retrohale. Anyway, people, peace out. Hope you're enjoying your day, your evening, whenever you may be watching this, and I encourage you to fire up some nice-ass cigars. Spend your money how you like. There's a saying, getting into songs real quick, there's a saying in this song. I make my own money, so I spend it how I like. There you go. You make your own money, spend it how you like. It's not a waste if you enjoy it. Some people can say, oh, cigar is a waste of money. Hell no. It's money well spent. I work for it. I enjoy it. It gives me a nice time. This cigar gives me more pleasure than going on a date with a female. This cigar gives me more pleasure than going to the cinema, to the movies for an hour or two. Screw that, dude. Getting into sayings right here in songs, lyrics, and all that stuff. Here's some lyrics that I deeply resonate with. There's a song that goes like, as soon as I come to my senses. It's a rap song. Makes complete sense. Like, it hit me recently. As soon as I come to my senses. That's the most real thing I've heard in a long time. Because it's true. Before your orgasm, before you come, you're on this endless pursuit. I want to fuck this girl. I want to do this. But as soon as you come, you're just like, you come to your senses. You're like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, like, whoa, but like, why did I waste my time with this? It's like, why the fuck is this person here? Like, get the fuck out, you know? It's like, I'm done. I just want to be by myself, you know? I think that's like the kind of the male thing, because biologically we're programmed to just reproduce with as many females as we can. So it's like, as soon as you know, you're rewarded, as soon as you come, you're just, fuck it, I don't want to see you anymore. You want to move on to the next thing, or you just want to, you know, reproduce a little bit later, maybe like in a couple of hours, or, you know, you spark your interest again. But getting into that, like, thinking about that, imagine not having sort of a sexual desire. Think about that. What would it be like? That's a lot of like mind fog, and that's a lot of like stuff off a person's back, you know? But fuck it. There's nothing greater, in my opinion, than being in like an Asian country, like in Thailand or something, and just like having the time of your life, dude. Just, you know, sleeping with these super beautiful Thai girls or Asian girls. Oh my god, like for weeks in a row, switching them up like endlessly, like hedonistically speaking, since I'm a hedonist, you know, I like my drinks, I like my smokes, I like my any sort of intoxicants I enjoy. Whether it's natural like sex, or whether it's artificial like, I don't know, stimulants or whatever. It's all good, you know? It's a beautiful thing to indulge. This gets the monotony out of the way. This gets like, during that time period, you're not thinking about all the bullshit. You're just free. You're just kind of relaxed. But as soon as you come to your senses. You're like, yep, back to stage one. I was watching a lot of Archie Luxury, John Suckerhorn Scenario. Look him up. He's a cool guy. And Dead Farang, all these sort of Australian kind of guys that just go to Thailand and just enjoy themselves. Eventually I'm gonna do that, man. I could, even now, if I wanted to. I just don't have sort of the guts to just kind of go by myself to like a foreign country, and just, it's just kind of confusing. You gotta be really prepared for that. But that's it, people. Cheerio.